frantic and knee deeper now. I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out.
Well, looks like you guys came back for more. So here we go. Another video of this style. I promise eventually I'm gonna be able to be in a position time-wise where I can set up better angles and use these mounts I actually put on my truck, like the one on the light bar on top of the truck outside, like I did with a video in the beginning of this season. But you know, this was another storm that they didn't call for any snow at all. It's Monday morning, and I've been out plowing half the night and into the morning. We weren't even supposed to get any of this snow. They said up to 3 inches Sunday afternoon, which I was watching the Super Bowl and I kept looking outside, which, by the way, that was an awesome game. In my area, there aren't many Eagles fans, but everybody agrees that we hate Tom Brady. So it is what it is. But anyways, so I kept watching out the window waiting for the snow, and we got some light snow and then rain and light snow and rain, and there was never any accumulation. So I thought, great. Well, I was smart enough to set my alarm for about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning anyway, just to make sure. And I woke up, and you know, one town where I do that parking lot that you guys have seen me plow, there was 8 inches of snow there. The town I live in, there was 4 to 5 inches of snow. And then the other town I go to, there was maybe 1.5 inches to 2 inches. Not one of these towns is more than 15 minutes from the other one. That's what lake effect snow does. So, you know, it is what it is. Now they're calling for, you know, up to 6 inches of snow tonight, and then Wednesday night 6 to 8 inches of snow. So it looks like we're about to start getting snow again and again. I don't have the wings on the plow here. I had hit a curb with them last time I went out plowing, and I bent the one. So I need to fix that, which I'm going to do this afternoon. But the rubber pieces I put on the bottom of them, when I had made these, I believe there was a video on it a while back in the fall when I had redone these wings. I put them on the plow, and then I measured for the rubber pieces that go on the bottom of the wings that scrape on the ground. Well, my driveway is extremely uneven, and I don't know why I didn't think of that when I made them, but now when the wings are on there, they're about a 1/2 inch lower than the plow blade itself. So I never get a good scrape on driveways when I have those on. So since I have that issue like that, plus I hit that curb and I bent the one, I'm going to fix them today. I'm going to bend them back, and I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off each one. And they won't scrape on the ground now. They'll actually be, well, I'm going to cut a little more than that off. So they'll actually be slightly higher than the plow blade, which is fine with me. But you know, it's, if you've ever run a straight blade and then you've run a straight blade with wings, you'll never go back to running one without wings. It's just a big pain. It's so much easier when you have the scooping capabilities. But I'm just kind of getting through it here, and the camera was already in the truck, so I figured that I would throw it on and just keep going. And so that's pretty much what I'm doing at this point. What I want you guys to take away from this video, I try to share as much as I can about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, things like that. But what I want you guys to see is, you know, when it comes down to plowing, depending on your area and depending on the type of account you do, everything can make a big difference on what time you have to be up to go plowing. You know, 90% of the snow you get when you get a storm happens overnight. It doesn't happen during the day. So, you know, you're going to run into things where you have driveways that need to be open by a certain time, or, you know, what amount you go and you plow that snow. Now, it is very common in my area. The norm in my area is 2 inches. most contractors go out and start plowing as soon as it drops 2 inches of snow. Some of them have it set up for 3 inches of snow, but that's pretty much the norm, and it's really never any higher than that. Some guys do on-call plowing where, you know, obviously it is exactly what it implies. When a customer calls, you go and you plow. The reason I'm telling you this is you need to be specific. Now, I have one lot that you guys know, and it has to be cleared by 7 a.m. if you get the snow overnight. Now, if it doesn't start snowing until 6 in the morning, and by 7 a.m. it hasn't dropped 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches, then it is what it is. It's not a zero tolerance lot, which a zero tolerance lot is exactly what it implies. The customer wants nothing on that lot. If it drops a ½ inch, you better be salting that lot or scraping it right down, whatever. They want nothing on that lot. But mine isn't that way. So the thing is, you need to be exact with these customers, and even when you are exact, it doesn't always go that way. I had 2 customers, well, it's 2 accounts, same customer. I took over for a buddy of mine this year. He didn't have time to do them anymore. They're in a neighborhood I don't like to do a lot of work. It is a multi-million-dollar neighborhood in my area. And when I say multi-million-dollar neighborhood, it's surrounding. It's all in the neighborhood of a big country club, and the houses go for that amount in that area, most of them. I don't like to do work in that neighborhood for the exact reason that there's a reason those people have that much money. They are so tight, so stingy with their money. They do not want to spend it. They want everything for nothing, and they always want more and don't want to pay. And I'll take a regular blue-collar customer any day. Those people are great. It's very rare I ever have issues with them. Well, I used to have a lot of lawns in this neighborhood, 14 to be exact. I'm down to 2 lawns in this neighborhood. I've given them all away, literally given them to people, and just dropped them accounts. I did not want anything to do with them. Well, I took over this account for a friend of mine, and it's 2 driveways, and each one of these houses goes for over $1 million each. I was charging them $40 per driveway. There's a lot of obstacles in the driveway. It's not straight shot driveways. It's very time consuming. Both of them are, and they should have been more than that. But since I was doing both of them, I gave them a little bit of a deal. Well, I told them, I come out every 3 inches. Right from the get-go, I offered them a seasonal rate for unlimited plows or a per plow invoice at the end of the month. They wanted the per plow. I explained them the terms. This is when I plow, how I plow. And they're like, oh, great, fine, perfect. The end of the first month, the end of December, they got their invoice, and, he calls me up and he says, oh my good Lord, I didn't know you were going to come every couple inches. This bill's high and this and that. And it wasn't that high at all. The bill was under, I believe it was under $300 per driveway. And I told him, I said, listen, we've been over this. I explained this to you in the beginning. I can refer you. I'll give you 2 other contractors' numbers. They both plow driveways in your neighborhood. Give them a call. Maybe they can do something for you if you'd like to go a different route. But this is how I do it. I don't wait till the storm's over. I plow with the storm. And it is what it is. And I explained this to you when I offered you the seasonal rate that would have given you unlimited plows. And he goes, no, you know what? You're right. Just go ahead. I don't want anybody else. I want you to do it. I like the way you do it. Just continue on. Okay, great. Well, here comes the end of January, and I invoice them again. This time she calls me, and she says, that last snowstorm you plowed? And I said, yeah. She goes, you shouldn't have plowed. I go, ma'am, it dropped 8+ inches of snow in less than 24 hours. What do you mean I shouldn't have plowed? She said, well, for the next 2 days after that, it was almost 40 degrees, and everything was melting right off. That 8 inches would have melted in the next 2 days, and you should have known that. And it's dishonest for you to come and plow knowing the weather was going to get warmer, and knowing that, knowing that the snow wasn't going to last that long. It was very dishonest of you, and dishonest of you to put it on my bill. I said, you know what? It is what it is. What do you want to do? You both drive BMWs. They sit very low to the ground. 8 inches of snow. What would you have done? What did you? I don't know what you expect from me. What you want me to do? And at this point, I was hoping they would have gone with one of the other companies the first time I offered it at the end of last month, because you know they're just very time-consuming driveways, and I really didn't want to do them. So I knew where it was going, and I was getting happy at this point. I'm like, she's gonna drop me. This is gonna be great. Well, she did. She said, you know, don't worry about plowing anymore. We'll take care of it ourselves. And I said, that's no problem. You know, and, you know, I hope everything works out for you, and you know, have a good rest of the winter, and you know, I wish you the best. And I pretty much left it at that. And she said, okay, no problem. And that was that. So, you know, even though I made it very clear to my customer, it was like I had never spoken to either one of them at the end of the 2 months that I'd plowed for them and invoiced them. And look at that van, crazy driver. No, I'm just kidding. That's my wife. She stopped to talk to me for a minute. But anyway, so that's it. Guys, be very clear, be very specific, and stay